So 2,500 tracks. As a sync agent, how do you track all of that?
Well, we're over 7 now. That was back then. That's when our brains stopped remembering, was about 2.5, I think.
How do you track all that? Because obviously with a lot of non-exclusive, which do you offer exclusive and non-exclusive?
Both.
You offer both?
Yes.
What I'm finding in the industry, because as well, I started out as a sync agent before I started moving into music supervision, was I also ended up with like thousands of tracks because you need to offer quite a lot of variety. Mm-hmm. But at what point do you feel like I've signed enough, I'm going to
it would never be enough,
because we can never pitch the amount of tracks that we have compared to, but it's nice to have like that option. And so many people, creatives, are always looking for sync agents to rep their stuff, but one thing I'm finding is that they're then saying after like a year or two, like, I've been with the sync agent, I still haven't like had any music like pitched, and that I know that's down to sometimes, you know, the track has to match up to the project, but is it also a case that maybe sometimes as sync agents we can sometimes be taken on a lot as well?
I think all of that's correct. I mean, it's too easy to take on a lot of stuff,
especially when it's non-exclusive as well.
And as good as the AI is, it's still down to us to remember what we have, and that is very, very important. And I think it's key to not have
the admin of it.
The admin is massive,
especially if you're like
we're a publisher as well.
So that's what I was going to say. Like that's a lot.
No, it is
to keep up with and to track.
It is a lot to track as well. But in terms of you know, do you sort of stop? No, because there's always something new that will come to us where you just go, this is so cool, we've got to have this.
It's like hoarding, isn't it?
It is. It is. If you're a hoarder, get into this business. Yeah,
hoarding music.
You're hoarding music, but you never ever know when that song is going to come up and you're going to need it, or that style of thing. Or that we've just had one where we've had it for over from when I began Pop Up, which was in 2013. So just after that, 2014, signed this stuff. Interesting enough, you talk about heavy metal. This was sort of heavy rock, so it wasn't quite on the metal side. You're right, heavy metal doesn't get used enough.
Right, like,
and it's a shame.
I've heard it quite a lot lately, though, in like action scenes or
fight
scenes.
Same.
It tends, but like rock, yes, but like heavy metal, like that is
that's
like
true.
Anomalous. It's just like really, it was very interesting.
I went to a Slayer concert once. My dad's really into heavy metal. He took me to watch Slayer. Anytime I get in the car, it's always metal. He's like, my car, my music. You have to listen to
Driver's choice,
I saw Slayer, I think at Donington Monsters of Rock. It was quite something. This is about 1 million years ago.
It's an experience.
But interesting, Jim and I talk about this a lot. It's like, why is heavy metal not used more? Because of the energy and the level of anger going on. It's really powerful. And I just think I think supervisors or more agencies are probably, that's still a bit of a niche market, but I think underground, a lot of people love heavy metal, and it's I would love to see it more in sync, a lot more.
Sometimes it's not, you know, the supervisor, though, like the powers that be that get the final say, are the ones, you know, like the directors and stuff that get the say in that, don't they? Sometimes we can only like put forward what we suggest.
Sure.
But I agree. It does have its place for sure.
Yeah. So I was saying about this track. So we just got a track sunk, which we've had for 10 years. And I wrote that email, very pleased. I don't know if you remember us, but we 10 years ago, you signed the song to us.
I'm sure we still have a contract existing somewhere.
Dust that one off. And that's the first thing I did, actually. It's like, is it still under contract?
I know, because I've been there.
Yeah, of course. And but with great pleasure. And he was obviously very chuffed, and went into the scene, and it's happened. So you never know what you're going to need, and it's always something you don't have. as much as we say we have everything, we say that we do have, because we do have an awful lot of different music, a lot of different languages. We have a lot of eras, so we go from 1920s all the way up to today. But you know, as an independent company, I've got to compete with the big companies like Universal that they do have everything, but they don't know that they've got everything, and that's where a company like us comes in, that we do know what we have and we can be proactive. And
you've got access to the rack catalogue as well, don't
you? Yes, and Fairwood Music and a lot of other really cool independent labels as well. We just signed some stuff from Mexico, which is just so cool. It's a label, and this guy's just gone out and signed lots of different stuff. We got this Mexican sort of punk rock band. They're sort of like Ramones, but they have marimbas.
Nice.
It's the best.
I'd love to hear that.
It's the best. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, dude.
It's the best stuff ever. So yeah, you just have to keep hoarding.
And you have had some pretty cool placements like Stranger Things.
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
How did those come about?
It's about the network. It's
and that takes time. People,
it does.
Like starting out in this industry, a lot of people need to learn patience, and it takes time to really cultivate and build that.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a year. A year in sync is not anything at all.
No,
nothing.
That's not a long time. And with Stranger Things, interesting one. I mean, this is a good point in case. I remember when Nora reached out on that one for season 1. Of course, none of us knew what it was all about. It wasn't what it is now. Yeah. And the brief came through, and I was quite interested in it because it kind of was like, you know, 80s BMX, bit like E.T. sort of thing. This I can't remember the exact original brief, and I was thinking, I quite like the sound of this. Cause I grew up in the 80s and liked BMXs and loved E.T. Anyway, pitched on this random thing because these things come in and you never know what they are, and it's a very exciting thing. It's just something comes in and then you remember it, and then you see it come out and go, oh wow, we're in that, or you know, and but at first you have no idea what the show is. So we pitched on season 1, and then season Stranger Things really blew up very quickly after that initial first series, and so then Jim and I were like, right, let's get as much 80s music in for season 2, because you could guesstimate what was going to come next. So we started hoarding in a lot of 80s music. So season 2 came by, didn't get anything. Oh, damn it! Right, come on. We'd done some other stuff with Nora, so it wasn't like we weren't getting in. She kept pitching to us. The 3rd season came around, nothing. Like, right, season 4's coming. We've got to get something. Get more 80s stuff in, more 80s. hoard, which we did. We're still doing it. And what was really ironic is the song that we got in season 4 was not 80s. So
classic.
It was
absolute classic.
It was, but this is the genius of Nora as well. I mean, we were talking about this earlier about how supervisors really get into the characters and about how they know how to mold a character with a certain type of song and a certain genre to build their character and support their character. So the song that we got in the movie was a 70s reggae track. Ooh, nice. So it was quite trippy, and it suited the character. So the character who worked in the pizza shop that had the surfer van, so it's the hippie kid.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like
character.
So he would never have listened to anything current. And Nora really hit his character with all the music she shaped around his character. Yeah. So, she put this, and it's a really cool track because it was recorded at Electric Ladyland, which is the Hendrix studio. Nice. So shortly after Hendrix died, Electric Ladyland kept going with Eddie Kramer, the producer, and Eddie recorded this particular track. So it was very well recorded, and it's just a really cool sound. But nothing ever happened to this song. It's a band called Dorian Zero. Okay. And that was under a label in Italy, actually.
That was Series 4.
Series 4, yeah.
in case anyone wants to check it out.
Oh, blimey.
Testing you now.
It's the bit where 11 gets, I think it's 11, where the nasty girl comes up and hits her with the roller skate.
Oh, yeah.
And then they bundle her into the van.
Yeah.
His pizza van, and they drive off. So it's that.
I can actually picture that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's his kind of, because they're in his van, it's his world, it's his music, and, but they're kind of consoling her and all the rest
That's
of it.
a win.
Yeah.